Two ways to support your immune system. How are you guys doing? I'm so excited to be joining you guys again for a free live training. This is part of my weekly live trainings that I do for you guys here in this group. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I hop in to teach you guys about a different topic. Personalizing your supplements. That was the most requested topic that you guys had asked for, was getting started on your own personalized supplement regimen. So last Wednesday, I told you guys two options for really personalizing your supplements. Depending on the level of investment and time that you wanted to dedicate into that, we have something for everybody. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions at all. If you missed last week's training, be sure to go check it out. It's called Personalizing Your Supplements, and tag me in any questions that you have. Let me know if you guys did the quiz, the gut personal quiz, and which supplements you got. I love helping you guys figure out to a T which supplements are going to be the most beneficial for you guys to actually make a difference in your health. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Some of you guys were sending me private messages, which I love. So never hesitate to send me any questions regarding supplements that you guys may have. And yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding last week's training, put them into the comments here and we can talk about them. But tonight, guys, we are talking all about immune support, and I'm going to be telling you guys the two ways to really be supporting your immune system. So let me pull up my notes here and let's just dive right on into it. Of course, as always, if you guys have questions, drop them into the comments here. I can see them on my end and I'll be sure to address them. So the big reason why I really wanted to do some immune support for you guys today was because I truly believe that when you just feel well in your body, you show up differently. You perform better at your job. You show up differently for your friends, your families, your work, your hobbies, all of those things when you just feel good in your body. And I'm sure we can all relate to that, because when you're not feeling well, you don't show up as the best you. So I want to teach you guys how to be supporting your immune system so that you feel really good in your body. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys two products that I always have in my natural medicine cabinet. I say natural medicine cabinet because I really care about what I'm putting into my body, and I try to go as natural as possible. So the products I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, we're going to be talking about them, why I love them so much, and how, most importantly, they are so supportive for your immune system. So really, guys, with the current state of the world, I'm sure we can all relate to this. It has really dawned on us to really take a close look at our internal health. And we've really been shown a light on just how important the immune system is. And I think we've all just had a rebirth of how valuable our health is and supporting our immune system. So there are many ways to protect yourself and your immune system. And the thing is, guys, immune health really requires daily investment. It's a daily practice. And it's just like with any other health. You can't just eat one vegetable in your life and expect you to have good long-term health, right? It's something that you have to constantly invest into. It's like a little piggy bank. Your immune system is the same way. You constantly have to be doing daily practices to be supporting your immune system so that you can really thrive in your life. So the biggest things, guys, to focus on when you're wanting to bolster your immune system is your gut. Truly, I know the gut is really the center of everything, specifically when it comes to our immune health, because over 70% of our immune system resides in our gut. So optimizing your gut health first and foremost is going to be the best way to support your immune system. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. Having a robust and diverse microbiome, it makes you more resilient to harmful gut bugs and pathogens and infections and all those nasty things that we don't want in our gut. The large intestine is where your microbiome lives. And all of these beneficial bacteria that live in your microbiome, they modulate the immune system. So we need to have this good gut bacteria to really balance our immune system and give it what it needs. And to move up the track a little bit into our small intestine. Now, this is where a lot of the immune cells are going to live. If you guys remember leaky gut, I talked about this earlier in the week. I posted a couple graphics on what leaky gut is, and I made that bricks and mortar analogy. So this is where the leaky gut happens. It's in your small intestine. And this is when particles can escape out of your gut. It enters your bloodstream, and then this causes inflammation throughout your body. And this inflammation is what causes your immune system to react, because your immune system sees these particles escaping out of the small intestine of your compromised gut, and your immune system is like, hold up, let me attack this thing real quick. So your immune system is going to react, and it goes into overdrive. So our immune system is going to see these little particles as invaders, and it attacks. We should not be reacting to the foods that we're eating. I'm going to say that again. You should not be reacting to the foods that you are eating. So if you suffer from a lot of food sensitivities, that is a relationship of your immune system and your gut, and it means that your gut is out of whack, and you've got to heal up that leaky gut so your immune system is not reacting to it. So the amount of inflammation that you have on board is going to determine how you react to different viruses and pathogens. The current state of the world, I'm sure you've heard this a lot with, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this word. Am I going to get shadow banned? I don't know. But with COVID, you hear a lot about the reaction with inflammation, because COVID is an inflammatory response in your body, as are all other viruses and pathogens. I'm going to check the questions real quick, make sure we're good. Amazing. Again, guys, if you have any questions throughout this, please put them into the chat, and I'll be sure to talk about them. So all this background information, guys, is really just to show you that we have to focus on our gut when we're talking about immune health. We have to focus on our gut. We have to bring down inflammation, and we have to give the immune system what it needs to thrive and keep us healthy. So we talk a lot about the gut in this group. Today, I'm going to be really talking about giving your immune system what it needs to thrive and keep you healthy. So of course, nutrition and lifestyle play a huge role in this, but I'm not going to waste our time with covering the essentials like eating your fruits and vegetables and managing your stress and getting 8 hours of sleep. Those are all really, really, really important for your immune system, but I think we all know that already. I think we all know that we have to take care of our physical body in order to have a strong, robust immune system. Otherwise, you begin to get run down and you get sick. So I'm not going to cover all those today. We're going to take it one step further, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about targeted nutrients and natural botanicals that you can be providing to your body to support your immune system. So let's start talking about it. We want to support our gut, and we want to support the soldiers of our immune system. One of my favorite nutrients for doing this is vitamin D. So write this one down. Vitamin D is super important for the immune system. I'm sure you guys have heard about this already, but let's talk a little bit about why vitamin D is such an important vitamin when we're talking about immune health. So vitamin D has such a big influence on the immune response because it's going to act on both the innate immune response and the adaptive immune response. So I won't get too sciencey here, but basically our immune system has two different immune responses. The innate immune response is the one that is responsible for quickly fighting an infection. So this is like if you have an acute infection of like a cold come in, your innate immune response is going to attack it and get it out. While your adaptive immune response, this is the more long-term. This is the one that makes antibodies so that it remembers, oh yeah, that virus that came in, we had to create an antibody against it and get it out. So that's more of your like memory immune response, if you will. So vitamin D has an influence on both of those. That's why it's so important to include vitamin D when you're supporting your immune system. The other thing that vitamin D can do is it can go in and dampen the damaging inflammatory response of some of our white blood cells. So when an infection enters our body sends out the white blood cells to attack it. This is going to raise inflammation. Now, this is a good thing. This is how our body fights infection. However, as we know, that inflammatory response can be damaging to our body. So the vitamin D just kind of goes in there and modulates the damaging effects a little bit. So studies are now really coming out about vitamin D and COVID and showing that those with lower levels of vitamin D are much more likely to develop colds, flu, upper respiratory tract infections than those with higher levels. So the higher your vitamin D levels are, the more resilient you are to fighting off infections and viruses and bacteria and that sort of thing. So vitamin D is also known for playing a really important role in autoimmunity. So a prevalence of vitamin D deficiency is observed in patients with autoimmune diseases. So if you're listening to this and you have any sort of autoimmune conditions, number one, we gotta take a look at your gut because that's really important if you have any sort of autoimmunity going on. And number two, be sure that you're routinely checking your vitamin D levels. And I highly recommend getting on a vitamin D supplement. I recommend that for everybody. We're going to talk about that in a second here, especially if you struggle with any autoimmunity. So we can get some of our vitamin D from foods, things like salmon and egg yolks, but the vast majority, like over 90% of our vitamin D levels actually needs to be made within our body from sunlight. So the vast majority needs to be produced in our body. The problem here is we're just not getting enough sunlight nowadays. That's why deficiency rates of vitamin D are so high. It's one of the highest nutrients that Americans are deficient in, that and magnesium, which we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second and why that's a very interesting relationship. So the reason that why deficiency rates are climbing, some of those are we're just not outside in the sunlight as much as we used to be. A lot of us work inside. We are in offices on computers nowadays, and we're just not outside. Another reason is the prevalence of sunscreen, which I love me some good sunscreen. I'm really into protecting your skin from the damaging effects of the sun. However, when you put sunscreen on, your body can't absorb that vitamin D from the sun. And also just your environment, depending on where you live in the world. If you live up in the northern hemisphere where you just don't get a lot of sunlight, especially this time of year and in the fall and winter months, then that could be another reason why you're deficient in vitamin D. So let's talk a little bit about the two different forms of vitamin D. So we have vitamin D3. This is the kind that you want. So if you guys are going out shopping for a vitamin D supplement, you want vitamin D3. This is the active form of vitamin D. You may also see some forms like vitamin D2. Vitamin D2 comes from plants, and so it's not as easily absorbed. So vitamin D3, your body accepts it a lot better, so it absorbs it, and it has a much better efficiency rate in your body. So vitamin D, so important for so many things. Vitamin D actually acts more like a hormone within our body than it does a vitamin, so it's so important. Plays a really big role in mood regulation, so if you struggle with anxiety, depression. Have you guys ever heard of the winter blues? Like in the winter months when you might just be feeling more down, a little bit blue, depressed, could be in part due to you're not getting as much vitamin D. Vitamin D is also really important for fetal development. So pregnant or nursing moms, vitamin D is really important. It's really important for tightening and repairing that gut lining. So that's the gut health piece. Vitamin D is so important for gut health. It's also really helpful for hormones like testosterone. So I always tell my clients that when they come to me and they're like, I want to get my husband going on some supplements, what should I start with? Vitamin D. Get your man on some vitamin D. It's really important for healthy hormones. And because deficiency rates are so high, your husband's likely deficient as well. So get the little droppers from Gut Personal. It's liquid form. Drop it into his coffee. He'll never know. Super easy hack for you there. I'm going to check my questions here. All right, we're looking good. All right, we're going to talk about dosing after I get a sip of water because I feel like I am just spitting information out at you guys. Okay, let's get into dosing. What is the right dose for me? I know this is a super common question, so I wanted to support you guys with this. So Gut Personal, I talked about this in my last week's training. That is our sister company who does the personalized gut healing supplements. We now have a vitamin D supplement on board, which I also talked to you guys about. Sourcing of your supplements is so important because vitamins and the dietary supplements are not regulated by the FDA. Really important to go quality here. So the Gut Personal vitamin D ones are the ones I always recommend. So those are the ones I'm going to talk about here. So the Sunshine, we have 3 different vitamin D supplements. The Sunshine, we're going to talk about the first one. The Sunshine is a good just everyday vitamin D. In one capsule, there's 1,000 units. So this one's good for you if you want to start a vitamin D supplement, you're listening to this training and you're like, oh goodness, I'm not taking a vitamin D, I should really change that. The Sunshine's a good place to start. It's a great one to start if you don't know your current levels, if you haven't had your blood checked recently for vitamin D, you don't know where you fall, you want to get started, start on the Sunshine. It's 1,000 units. It's a great everyday vitamin D supplement for year-round maintenance of your vitamin D levels. It's also a good one where if you live in the southern hemisphere, like I live in Arizona, I get a lot of sunshine down here. So if you live in the southern hemisphere and you do get exposed to a lot of sunlight, then you likely would be great with just the everyday vitamin D supplement called the Sunshine. Now the next one we have is called the Sunshine Plus. This is a high dose vitamin D plus vitamin K. I'm going to talk about in a second why that vitamin K addition is really important. So the Sunshine Plus is a high dose vitamin D. So this one's going to be best for you if when you're a woman and you have any sort of hormone imbalances, gut issues, autoimmunity, you need the Sunshine Plus. You need a little bit of a higher bump of vitamin D. The Sunshine Plus is 5,000 units of vitamin D. This is also a good one if you live up in the northern hemisphere or you work indoors a lot. You don't really go outside for a lot of the day, so you're not getting a lot of that sun exposure, the Sunshine Plus. Or if you have gone and you've gotten your levels checked recently at your doctor's, and if they're below 40, you're gonna want a higher dose of vitamin D. Ideally, you wanna be above 50. Some practitioners even want you guys up in the 80 realm. That's kind of where I would like to see you guys. At least 50 though. So if you're 40 or below, you need a higher dose of vitamin D. The 5,000 units would be great, which is the Sunshine Plus. This is also a great one, like I said, if you have an autoimmune condition or if it's cold and flu season. So for me, even though I live in Arizona where I get a lot of sun exposure, I take a higher dose of vitamin D in this time of year during the winter months because it's cold and flu season and I don't want to get sick. So I bump up my vitamin D. Now the cool thing about the Sunshine Plus is it comes in both capsule and dropper form. I love the droppers. If you guys want my honest recommendation, the Sunshine Plus drops is so easy. So per one single drop, it's 1,000 units. So you guys can ultra personalize your dosage. So that little dropper is gonna last you forever, and you can increase your dosage in the winter months and then back off in the summer months, or you can increase it if you're feeling a cold coming on and then back it off when you're feeling better. So it's really nice because you can ultra personalize it. This one also does have the vitamin D plus the vitamin K, which is important. And this one's really great for you if you just don't like to take capsules, if you're burnt out on taking capsules, or if you want a vitamin D supplement that's great for maintenance, but then you also want to have the flexibility to bump it up as needed, like in times of higher stress, because stress is going to really decrease your immune system. So if you're going through a stressful period in your life, bump it up. If you're traveling, bump it up. If it's cold and flu season, you guys get the idea. So, and the really cool thing about the drops is you can add it into things. So you can drop some into your morning coffee. You can put it into your smoothies. You can put it into any beverage of choice. It's completely tasteless. So it's a really great option. The one thing to remember about these Sunshine supplements, which is the vitamin D from Gut Personal, is vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, which means it should be taken with or just shortly after a meal for better absorption. So take it with your meals or take it like right after and your body will absorb it better. So the Sunshine Plus, and then the Sunshine Plus drops. Those are the three that we have. And if you guys need some more support on like which one should I take, what should my dose be, put it into the comments and I'll help walk you guys through it. Okay, so I told you guys I was going to talk about vitamin K and why that addition of vitamin K is so important in the Sunshine Plus. And that's because it's important for our bone health and our cardiovascular health. So as we increase our dose of vitamin D is helpful for helping our body absorb calcium. But the thing is, if we're absorbing a lot of calcium, we need to be sure that we're pulling that calcium out of our bloodstream and into our bones, because that's what makes our bones strong and healthy. And if we're not getting that calcium out of our bloodstream, then that can create, after a long-term use of this, calcification in the artery. So that's where the cardiovascular health comes in. Of course, we don't want any calcification in arteries. So If you ever have been to the doctor and they prescribe you a really high dose of vitamin D, be sure you're also taking vitamin K with that, because the vitamin K is going to pull the calcium into your bones. The other thing that if you are taking a vitamin D supplement, be sure you're taking a magnesium supplement. So this is what I kind of alluded to earlier in this training. The two highest rates of nutrient deficiencies is vitamin D and magnesium. And that's not surprising because there's a big relationship there. You need magnesium in order to convert vitamin D into its active form. So you could be taking all the vitamin D in the world, but if you're not also taking magnesium, or if you're deficient in magnesium, then your body won't be able to use that vitamin D, and it's just going to get stored in your body and not used. So your blood levels may still stay really low, even though you're really supplementing. And that's because you have to also be supplementing with magnesium to get that vitamin D working in the body. So does that make sense? So the magnesium supplement is called the Miracle Worker. So you guys are like, okay, I'm ready to get some vitamin D on board. Also put the Miracle Worker into your cart because you need that magnesium to convert vitamin D to its active form. All right, I'm gonna check my questions real quick. And we're looking good. All right, so that is the first way to be supporting your immune system, guys. Let's talk about the second way, and that's through those key nutrients and botanicals. So nutrient deficiencies, as we know, they compromise the immune system. And consuming immune-enhancing nutrients can actually strengthen it. So we're going to be talking about those right now. And we supply those through the Defender. So the Defender from Gut Personal is jam-packed of these key nutrients and botanicals I'm going to talk about that really, really support your immune system. Guys, I'm not kidding. This is one I always have in my medicine cabinet. This is like your natural Zicam. Like when you feel a cold coming on, you got to reach for the Defender. It is so helpful. I do not travel without it because when you travel, you know how sometimes you just get run down, you might be feeling a little sick. Start popping the Defender. I'm going to talk about dosing for this, and it is like a miracle worker. It really is. Zaps it in 48 hours. It's incredible. So let's talk about why the Defender is so important and so effective for supporting your immune system. So it's packed with immune supportive nutrients like zinc and vitamin A and pantothenic acid and vitamin C. Zinc is really, really helpful for the cells of your epithelium. So not only the cells within your gut, but also the cells up in your respiratory tract. Zinc is also helpful for shutting down viral replication. So if a virus gets into your cells, the zinc's going to help shut it down so it can't replicate and continue to spread. Vitamin C, it's really good for helping to reduce inflammation in the body, which we have talked about. Vitamin A is really helpful for the immune system. So those are all really important nutrients that play a major role in maintaining a healthy and functioning immune system. There's also immune supportive botanicals in the Defender. So things like elderberry, echinacea, astragalus, andrographis. These are all botanicals that are so supportive for the immune system. Some of them you may recognize, such as elderberry. Elderberry has such a long history of use, and it's been used for centuries. And there's so many recent research articles which really demonstrate its effectiveness against colds and flus. So what elderberry does is it's similar to zinc. What it does is it modulates the virus's ability to bind to the host cell, and then it reduces replication. So that's really, really helpful because then it's like if a virus gets into your body, the elderberry is going to halt it from being able to bind to the host cell, which is you. So it's going to halt it from being able to bind. But then even if it does bind, it's going to help reduce the replication in conjunction with that zinc. So these ingredients are really thought out and they play a very synergistic role together. There's actually a study that came out recently over in Europe. There was an outbreak of the flu, and patients were given a high dose of elderberry extract. And the results were 93% of those given the elderberry saw improvement to their flu symptoms within 48 hours. Now that's compared to the placebo group who did not get the elderberry. It took them 6 days to start seeing a reduction in symptoms. So elderberry really reduces the time that you are having symptoms, and it gets you feeling better a lot faster. So you may be saying, oh yeah, I've seen elderberry in the stores, I've heard of that. But the thing is it has to be at the right dose. And a lot of the products in stores, they're a low potency, so they're not going to be doing the job. This study I just talked to you guys about, it was a high dose elderberry extract, and that's what we have inside of the Defender. It's a high dose, so it zaps the virus and gets it out of your body. And not only is that high potency, but it's just a great blend of materials that, as I said, they work in synergy with each other. The other botanicals I mentioned, Echinacea, Astragalus, Andrographis. So what these guys do is they work together to increase our CD8 and CD4 counts. So what are these CD8 and CD4, you may ask? So basically what those are they are the immune, they're the soldiers to our immune system. So I like to make the analogy of they're like snipers and soldiers. CD8 cells, what they do is they act like a sniper. So when a virus comes into your body, the CD8 is just going to zap it and kill it off. While the CD4 acts more like a soldier. CD4 is going to see a virus enter your body. It's going to signal to the rest of the immune system, we have an intruder, and then that's when your immune system goes and attacks it. So we want those CD8, CD4 counts to be in action and well supported and have what they need to fight off any invaders that are getting into our body. That's what those botanicals help to support. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. So what I really love about the Defender from Gut Personal is it's really helpful for not only maintenance, you could just be taking 2 capsules per day, that's the dose, and that's to maintain your good immune health, but it can also be used for immediate relief. Like I said, it's like your Zicam. So if you feel a cold coming on, the first sign of it, I recommend taking 2 capsules every hour for 6 hours, wait until the next day, and then repeat that. Do it for 2 to 3 days or until your symptoms go away. But that's really all, as long as it takes, is 48 hours is what the research is supporting of how long you need to be taking it at that dose. So 48 hours is crazy fast relief, which is really, really exciting. Going back to the maintenance, so you don't want to be taking these every single day. This isn't like an everyday supplement for you guys. What I recommend for this one is maybe taking it in cold and flu season, in the winter months when you're more prone to getting a cold or a flu. Take 2 capsules per day, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, because your body can grow a tolerance to some of these botanicals, which of course we don't want to do that. So taking it 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off for that 3-month duration of the cold and flu season is perfect. Or like I said, I don't travel without it. So bringing it and taking 2 capsules per day when you're traveling, or if you're going through a stressful time in your life and your immune system feels shot, those are some good times to be taking it on a daily basis for that 2 week on, 2 week off period. I hope that makes sense. So I seriously love the Defender so much, guys. A little story for you. So I started taking this kind of recently every single day. I'm doing the 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off thing because my entire household got COVID, like my entire household. And I was like, no, I'm not getting sick. So that's when I started taking it, just 2 a day. And I never got it. I was the only one in the household to not get COVID. I swear it was due to the Defender, and I also high dose my vitamin D. So like I said, I take those drops. I took 5 drops per day, which is 5,000 units, and I never got sick. I always take it when I travel. I always have these in my medicine cabinet for symptoms. Like I said, it's like a Zicam. Really, really effective, but it's a natural form. So you can feel really good about putting this into your body. So that is all I have for you guys on the immune support. You guys can let me know if you have any questions on any of this. And remember, you guys get a discount code as being a part of our private community here in the Gut Fix Society. Your discount code for Gut Personal is Society10, and that will save you 10%. So be sure to use it and pick up these immune supportive supplements. Trust me, just having these on hand is so, so helpful. Pick some up for your partner. It's Valentine's Day. Get them going on a good health journey so that you can all feel really, really good. Because like I said in the beginning, when you feel good in your body, you just show up differently. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. You guys can write into this group at any time. This is your guys' group. Write into the group, tag me. If you guys have any questions on how to dose your vitamin D, I am here to help you guys work through that. Be sure to get the Defender to always have that on hand. And I will see you guys soon. I'll see you around in the group. And I'll see you next Wednesday. I was trying to think of what next week's training is, and I think it's all on functional medicine, the functional approach to health. So that's next week's training. If you guys have questions before then, be sure to tag